space, I think, about 340 wood from my workstation. 5.5 years later, we've got 6,600 and some odd documents up, and we're averaging 750,000 hits per week against the HTML documents. One thing I can tell you for certain, when we first started this project, I was completely ignorant of just how ignorant I was and what I was taking on, what I was considering. 5.5 years later, my ignorance has increased tenfold. But tragically, I'm now aware of it. In the beginning, I was sort of like a 5-year-old child splashing around in a mud puddle with a plastic boat like pirates on the Mississippi River. The purpose of the project: make available in digital form documents in the field of law, history, diplomacy, and government. That is broad enough to allow us to do anything we feel like it. We want to place any constraints on ourselves in those areas. Two, provide access to these documents free of charge to the widest possible audience in the use of secure technology. Now, what we meant by that in 1996 was that the documents on the website would be viewable in any browser that was current at the time. And that meant in those days, back several years, either Netscape or Mosaic or some of the text-based browsers. It meant that we would not be using a database backend. It meant that we would not be using scripting languages at that point in time because most browsers did not support it. So what we were producing in those years was basic HTML documents. 3, utilize hypertext scripting technology that changes languages. Scripting technology to annotate, index, navigate, and link between related documents. 4, to demonstrate the feasibility of creating, building, and maintaining a document archive for as little cost as possible, using technology readily available to anyone with the average skill. In 1996, I was basically work. I didn't know how to run a website, but I wasn't building it. I do now, but what we were trying to do at that point in time was to leverage on existing technology that was already in place. Things that we did not know how to do, or did not want to know how to do. We relied on the university to provide for us. And 5, to demonstrate the feasibility of using and enhancing pre-existing technologies such as this is the technology that we use to produce the documents. An HP flatbed scanner that we purchased was $500. God knows how many people different things were going to go for $300. We use Avalon Project OCR software, also a license for that, so that was the cost of the project for that. There is freeware, shareware, OCR software called MindReader. You can buy a license for that for $99 and operate we use Microsoft Word. We use that for spell checking and editing. Both of them work perfect. I also use a freeware word processor called Sharp. Very simple, very precise. My job spell checking. We use HTML Assistant Pro 2000 for markup. This is a shareware Avalon is available from 10.6.0 software. It's not very expensive. I think 5 licenses cost along those lines. It's a very flexible HTML editor. It allows you to set up pre-coded snippets of code that you can convert to your document. We also use Oracle Julia, which is a freeware HTML editor, which does a really good job of converting rich text format to HTML in such a way that it's not easy without having to figure anything that Our site is mounted on the Yale University institutional server, which, part like us, will cost $100 per year to utilize this space. I'm quite sure that's really not acceptable. We chose to do that rather than build and maintain our own project web server for 2 reasons. One, we didn't have the infrastructure in place in the law school at that one time to have a web server. And 2, because we wanted to use pre-existing technology. We didn't want to have to build technology on one of our points in our code to demonstrate the use of pre-existing technology. We used the Yale University indexing and search engine for the same reason. We didn't have a place to run a search engine in 1996. We could now, but again, that's not the point. That's not about this particular time. Now, those tools some tweaks with it, which I will hopefully have time to show you. Technology designed for now in year 2002. As you can see, these statistics are gathered by a free service called NetStat. A quick look at these lists will show you that Microsoft rules the world. Over 90% of our hits come from Microsoft Internet Explorer. 90% of the operating systems hitting the website come from Microsoft operating systems. The screen resolutions are closer to 1024 by 768 or 800 by 600. 640 by 400 is now dinosaur. The color depths, as you can see, are high colors and true colors. So this is what we have designed for. This is what we write for. The files are still viewable in other browsers. You can look at them in Netscape or Opera or whatever non-Microsoft browser you choose to use. But it's a Microsoft world, so we tend to pay attention to that and make sure that our pages look nice and work well in Internet Explorer. The structure of the project. Each project page is created from an HTML document, one or more cascading style sheets, one or more JavaScript programs. You do pay use of JavaScript now since most browsers support it, so it's now close to mature technology. And one or more image files. The project, as I said, is mounted on Yale University's institutional server. Documents are stored in a folder tree, rooted in a folder named Avalon. Underneath that Avalon folder, there are simply levels of directory structure into which the various subject categories, various document collections are placed. The style sheets are in their own folder. JavaScript is in its own folder. The images are in their own folders. It just helps to keep track of where everything is. HTML template file. I've built maybe a couple of dozen templates, which I just keep reusing over and over again. I drop the text into the middle of the template, I save it out as a different name, file name, put it on the server, and with very little effort, I've got a file out. The template looks like this in code. This is the meta tags at the top. There are four meta tags. I'll say a little bit more about that in a minute. And this is the ball out to the style sheet. Line here. This is the ball out to the JavaScript file. And the rest of it is just pretty much basic. Very basic HTML. We don't really make anything fancy with the HTML. Use small subsets of code, of tags. Right? We're trying not to use any proprietary tags by any means. 2 dozen of these things. We just keep reusing them over and over. Just want to briefly say something about metadata. Metadata, for those of you who've been above the art circle for the last years, sleeping at us at full here, is data about data. Isn't that just fun? Data about data, I love that. It's like, Avalon Project like that. All of us are, I think, very familiar with what would be the most common form of metadata that you see. You search the library catalog, whether it's a paper catalog or an online catalog, you look at hard record, that's metadata. That's data about data. This is a data, this is a metadata set for the Nuremberg trial, war crime trial proceedings. You see there's a title, an alternate title, a corporate name, national military title, several uncontrolled subject terms. I can make these subject terms up out of my head, and I do. And then several controlled subject terms down here where it says LCSA says Library of Commerce subject. So these are legitimate Library of Commerce subject. Library of Commerce column. Now, the value of metadata. If you put metadata in your documents, you're likely to be higher in the list returned by the search engine, which will have more relevance. We added metadata to the project in November of 1998. We put it in about 30% of the documents. At that point in time, we were getting 36,000 pages. By January 15th of the next year, that had jumped to 50,000 pages. We had added no additional documents. We had done no advertising. We had done nothing except add metadata. My opinion of the way to account for that jump. By the end of that year, we were up to 75,000 pages. And that particular period of time was the largest increase in hits that we saw here over the course of the project. So metadata is good thing. We chose W4 again because it's simple. It makes sense. Within an hour of looking at how to build W4, we're building W4 or putting it in our document. What I do is I take the catalog record, the catalog of the Goldman library, and I use the data that's in the cataloging record to populate the fields of the metadata. So I'm trying to figure out what the correct Library of Commerce subject metadata is. Style sheet rule. There's one style sheet that controls all 6,000 documents. So if I want to make a change to a font, I make a change once, and it propagates across the entire document. Style sheet rule. This is the piece of the snippet of code that you will put in the heading portion of your document to follow style sheet. And then this is the style sheet rule that we use. Document body rule basically just puts a margin of 30 pixels around the whole page. We set a default font there, fine, font name. We set a default background color white, default text color black. And that's all we do. And our text formatting rules, paragraph, text. We then specify times and tone. So we specify font size and pixels. Specify a text indent, so the paragraph is indented, so a square block of text. We specify a total line height of 120%, that's a total white space between the lines, so we also have a rule here for the free tag, reformatted text, which is exactly the same as the paragraph tag, so you can't tell where our text is reformatted and where it's so I'm going to repeat that. We have a rule for quotations in documents. What we do is we put the left margin in some pixels form so that we get from regular text. documents, a rule for footnotes, a rule for the copyright statement, a rule for menus and navigational tools, again, it's mostly background colors and specifying the background image. This is the rules and actions. This is what one of our documents are. Which rules apply. You can see that there's white space around the document. Paragraphs are indented, the font size is bigger. That will normally be by default. This is the same document without the rules. As you can see, it's not, I don't think it's at 3:1. There's no space to get to the screen. The font size is small. There's no indentation. The free text looks different. This is pre-formatted down here, by the way. It looks different from the regular text. I mean, it's away from the document. It's raining. I'm wondering, why does that look different from the rest of the section? So anyway, this is another document with rules in action. See, this is a navigation tool out the background. Controlled in by the style sheet. These colors and font size are controlled in style sheet. This is a little while. This one demonstrates the use of style sheets as a drop-down list. I can change the background color of the drop-down list. I can increase the font size of the drop-down list. And all of the font size. Document footer. We have a fairly complex document footer. On the bottom of every document that has been done in the last 2 years, I think, some previously. Not every document that has time to go back and change it from the beginning. Basically, our document footer consists of search boxes. It serves one project at the bottom of every page. This is some information about the document. The title. It gives you the location of the document. The document is located at URL, blah, blah, blah. Then it says this. The document was last corrected for conversion errors or the markup was updated on a particular date. Now that text is very important because as the project began to penetrate beyond the academic world, I started to get a lot of emails from people asking me why I was changing historical documents. So I needed to have a way of telling people that no, I'm not changing the document, I'm correcting a typographical error or I'm updating the markup. I also began to get a lot of emails from people who said that, you know, your documents haven't been updated since 1969. I don't think the web even existed in 1969. Well, unfortunately, it's their browser that has the problem, not the web server. So that I put in there, not all browsers say display the text correctly. The text date should be 18/10/1996 at the browser. Stop. We stick in another set of brief navigational tools. Back to the full sort page. Help desk to frequently ask questions. Back to the home page. Then states the purpose of the document including policy. Again, as we penetrated beyond the academic world, we began to get a lot of email from people who were upset about what we had on the website. I have been called a fascist, an anti-Semite, a county pinko liberal something or other. One gentleman even thought it would be interesting to come to a paper and work on world peace by, excuse the expression, kicking my ass. So I put that in there so that they could, if they were really interested in knowing why this particular document was included, they could go read the document. That's why that's the case. This is all built from a JavaScript file. So if I want to change that footer, I just have to change one file. Again, here's the code snippet that goes into the code at the bottom of each document. All that external JavaScript file is built in footer. This is a very simple JavaScript file. There's nothing complex about it at all. The text that's in red is the actual JavaScript code. before each equal sign. That's an escape character. It causes the browser to not try to evaluate that statement. Without that, without that slash, simply doesn't appear to not but you can see there's very little JavaScript actually there associated. Now, this also can be done with server-side inquiry. The reason it's not done with server-side inquiry now, there's two reasons why it's not done with server-side inquiry. One, they weren't available in 1996. And second, one is one that was getting the law. And we also build navigational menus with JavaScript. This is a navigational menu with a number of jobs. You can jump to any volume from here. You can choose one. You want to see where you can choose the latest document. And this is all built from JavaScript. So this is totally next. Then again, the red is JavaScript. The rest is just standard HTML. Really easy to build. Take a program and do this. Let's do this document dot right. Error. Close error. Semicolon at the end. Okay, so there's what the job information. Drop down. And these are the four functions at the bottom. They call the document. They call it display. Very quickly, this is the HTML markup for our search page. This is the search function. This particular URL, there's only two things that change in it. This part right here, which says Anglo-Saxon or Anglo-Saxon. This part here, which is the query term for name. What we do is we use the JavaScript function to build the search URL, ship it to the other server, and get back a list of documents from that particular folder of the project. This URL will return any document that has the word name in it from the Anglo-Saxon folder of the project. Not the whole project, but one folder. Put it down to one folder. This is what our search page. This is the box of the JavaScript build. There's a drop-down list of builds. Each one of these is a different folder in the project, so you can search that folder along with the whole project. And this is the box.
What I hope to do this morning is sort of talk through the development of the project. And one thing I know I won't have time to do is the project. So you're free to take a look at it on your own. You can't copy this URL every slide presentation. So Curiae.law.yale.edu is the title. So I'm going to just sort of talk about the development of the project in the same institution and also with primarily just being me and one other person developing, not a programmer, a reference librarian, and as a reference librarian, moving on the next slide, now programming any additional anything technical. So this was all developed, sort of seat of our pants, learning things that we use and learning how to do. So how did it develop? First, I should talk for just a second select them, they can pretty much do what they want. They can bind them or not, they can catalog them or not, they can keep them forever or not. So those original sets don't look anything alike from one another. So that was sort of our last site. Which is what we consider to be original sets. Didn't match up. Even at the court, it doesn't court is to just and of course the court was surprised to hear that too. I don't think anybody just realized just quite how much these sets were achieved. So that was sort of the beginning. That's the original set. People always ask me, the first question I always get is, well, aren't all these things on What's Law? Sure, back to the 90s. Yeah. Contemporary briefs are great. Anywhere. Or you can get free. Legacy and Westlaw really only provide briefs back in the 90s. Back to the 70s, they provide party briefs, so they're not really a whole lot of briefs. It also means that for all the other sets, text sets, landwork written briefs that select cases, you get selected coverage. You not only get selected case coverage, but you get selected document coverage. Within any one of those cases that's reprinted, you're missing a whole lot of briefs. And again, we had no idea that there were briefs out there that weren't reprinted in like not just so that's basically where we are with the collection issues. There's no single complete source for briefs. Researchers looking to find all briefs written out throughout the country using all the sets that are out there and still maybe not know whether they have all briefs. So why is that we had a very overmotivated user who has just, that's the best way to put it. He did fantastic. This was his idea. He was a graduate student, PhD student in anthropology, doing his dissertation. Issues involving race and incarceration, and he headed towards the boundaries of vengeance. Extremely valuable, except being a modern-day, technically minded kind of student. Wanted to do full-text searches, wanted to find out what other kids in the community know about and briefs that related to these issues when the opinion didn't. There's no way we're going to do that. Again, going forward, but nothing but so his, the brain started turning, and obviously having not enough to do started putting that project together. And actually, it gets better. He started as a law student at Yale in the fall, and is still working on this project. So I think he was already So the initial idea to begin with was to do a small project, select briefs that demonstrated value in this site, figure out whether it was feasible in terms of conversion, in terms of costs for technology, some of the possibilities were. And eventually, we grew along. Always been a great convention. None of us realized definitely. But that was the initial idea. So this is what it looks like. We're in public data right now. We were in a sort of quiet public data until someone happened to link us and get us to a meeting and start doing that. So it's sort of an interesting lesson in a quiet public data. It's not a problem, but all of a sudden it's Googleable. you can Google briefs and you'll find us that way. But that's good. And comments are highly solicited. So I would get started. The first thing that Don Gray mentioned was the overloaded Interim, who is continues to be involved in the project. First thing we did was try to get participation from all the libraries. It was clear that if we were going to try to build the most complete collection of briefs that we could, that we had to have multiple library participation. We had to figure out where the overlaps and also figure out where this site was going to live. Better if it could be in the university. So Bill graciously accepted it as sort of an adjunct to Avalon before my time at Yale. And the initial goal was to make it hard out. multiple resolutions. We decided to use under DPI. I think doing it again, I might not do that. I might do it again, probably would go all the way. But, you know, we were learning as we went along. And my concern was that it increase our workflow or increase the cost of the candidate for them to have to spit out time. They don't charge more than 2 months. And it, but certain administration will give you the cost. 659 is just 300 DPI. And we weren't sure that that was really working. These are not all documents, plain as tax, doesn't get that close. Sure. And, you know, it was preservation versus access. So, and this is a template. And database, you know, Don had built a small database for a demonstration project. We wanted to expand, especially local search on, as well as management. So we track data in the database at 3 different levels. There's public metadata, conversion traffic to figure out where the documents are in terms of quality, and then some administrative metadata. This is our public metadata. It's not consistent, but it's fairly close. Those are 3 primary tables in the database. Documents and oral arguments really pretty much the same. It's just the data is slightly different for track number, so we pull them out separately. Things like you ought to be able to search by title. You ought to be able to search by something you want. Any of these things that you figure you might want to search on, might want to search on, we track those in the database. So the way it happens is that we select those for organization, identify the briefs, somebody enters all those data in the database, and use the database to generate this request. Oral arguments, pretty much the same kind of information. Cases, we track a lot of additional information on parallel citation, long name, the official name of the party of the case, but also and we do dynamic linking out to other related materials or opinions that find on, to real audio or ODA that's available, and we track that. Next set of data is just conversion traffic. Where in the process is this document? And because I'm part of it through the search system, checking out these documents. So you need to tell us what you would represent for us. You wouldn't let us figure out what was ready to be approved, what kind of backlog we have. So we really make sure we track everything that goes there. Oral arguments are really the same. We don't really track conversion at the case level because we're sending out documents. We don't really send cases. We tell you that they're individual documents. And then the last part, administrative metadata, it's not private data, it's just probably boring to most people who are searching and saying, we'll probably add some of the information. But at this point, I don't think there's probably as much interest. The document side, it's really inventory information. It's where documents most inventory case cases, not actually sending information to court where their original selection, and bring it back to court. So we'll maintain that basically where documents live. That'll be the particularly cases is a little different. The administrative data that we track on cases is searchable and viewable on the site. The first funding opportunity that we went after was, again, Don Raymond, this over-motivated patron, who he was a scientist, he was a social scientist, the first granting agency that occurred to him just select. We couldn't put chronology. We would never fit modern cases. It would take 20 years to get 20th century cases. And if we started from the end, we would never get modern. So it had to be objective criteria to select cases. And the way that we came up with, I don't know if that's what the way that we selected was to use citation data and text features across the board. So most of these texts, I'm talking about tried and most of them have a table of cases in cases that they find their use. So not just cases cited in the cases per se, the cases that they really focus on tends to be more text. And we entered that data into the database. We started with 9 texts. 9 texts are where we're ranking in the national citation on this for the first 20. We now have 15, and all that data is public. Here's the rank list on the site, project URL/. And we added a function that lets you rate certain texts. So if you really only want to see what the combination of favorite authors is, that. If you really want to have some fun, you can assign a -15 to one author only. And you'll be able to see what everyone else cites that they don't cite. I have a rank list, and it's very interesting. So that's all available, and that's pretty much what we have in cases of interest. So the next step was to start getting into an actual workflow, like how are we going to manage at this point, just Don was off-site in the field work in Washington, D.C., and I was the only one available. So how was I going to handle the project? How was I going to get students to work on this when I certainly wasn't going to get working around it? It's completely open to that. And we just didn't have the time to start doing it to teach students. So came up with a plan that would work for a small number of documents to work with. And right about this time that we started the conversion, we were ready to go forward, the side projects that were all around it's just sort of like a lesson that you're starting a project like this, and you're really stewing about all these great things that you thought you could do eventually. We had to start thinking about it. There's no way to continue to incorporate all these things while some things might happen, especially during the one person. So everything else really went through backward. Ranking was important. It was important. Funding was important to be able to tell people how to study. We also brought in opinion data. So we have data, basic data, citation, information for every case, every issue. Interesting. It provides a way to link out to all of the other information on the website. So we can link out to real audio, oral arguments, and audio, regardless of the documents. We can link out to opinions that find them, regardless of the documents. So that was certainly important. And conversion was important. Everything else really went to that. So managing this database, Don started out with a FileMaker database, pretty small, so he was comfortable working in. When I came and switched to other Access, which I was much more comfortable with, so personal choice. And then we brought all the case data in prior to two things, this information and opinions. We had 34,000 records in the table, in the cases table, and we were working commercially with Access for the Access. So we definitely had to get out of Access. We moved out right about that time that I SQL Server. So we imported in, beautifully. It's not complicated. Very easy time. Very easy time actually working with those things. The site we manage in SOAP, and I'd love to talk more about SOAP, except that I'm no expert, and there is somebody doing a session later on this morning on SOAP, so we should talk more specifically about how it works. But basically, it's an open source application, server, and content development system. Everything is open. We log in through the web. Show this here. You log in through the web, and then everything in there on that site is an object. Your HTML files, server side include anything that you want to use on the site. Connection to the database. Here is object. So pieces of code, you can use everything. You can use headers, you can use tiny little pieces of code, you can use simple display functions. And I think the important thing about using something like this is that not only can it be very simple for me to get in there and use, and I'm not technical yet, I don't know anything about how this really works. I just know how I can use it and put it on the site. But also, all of the little pieces of code that got into the database display, the text that was on display, I felt fairly comfortable looking around it. And I never ever would do that on a traditional site where I had to log in functionality, play around with Perl scripts. I would never, ever, ever do that. And on here, what I can usually do is view the source console, see that it uses these tiny pieces of code, go in and change a variable, make a change, try to use it to an call, and it works. If it doesn't work, it's a copy, and I'm in a zone. I'm not moving between a shell and a web development application and some other piece of software. It's one long, do it from home, do it from the road, do it from office. It's really not a problem. So generally the way it's worked is that I come up with some sort of a template, John goes off and writes code, makes it work, makes a search functionality work, passes it back to me, I come in and configure it. And if I can make the code look prettier, I can do that as well. And as long as everything, continues that, keep going with it, pass it back and forth, and play around with HTML, all the code, and again, you're never going to have to document searching, just sort of to give you a preview of what we provide on the site. You can search metadata, anything that's tracked in the database, and other various search mode. We also do full text indexing, doing SQL, and it's really important for us to documents to be located out on regular, open, accessible web servers. We want to store the databases, we want to make them accessible, we want people searching had some problems promoting that because people sort of hear that and then forget what we talk about other kind of data and searching full text and SQL. So all of that is available on the site. If you want to become a project site, it's important when someone does a search of their briefs, not knowing where you're located, is a big funding, I say that's sort of running out of time, but I just want to prove these numbers up. Big improvement project like this. The range is enormous. And of course, every member is going to tell you that the recipes are possibly bigger than that. And we started with a two-vendor model. Local vendors were on the just we were well nervous about setting documents off-site. We were going to courier them from the to the office. And they would be gone for very long. The problem is they just really weren't so much. And our second vendor, who was doing HTML tag, double-keyed their throughput depended on the output of the first vendor, who was really the campus publisher. They gave us a great price, they gave us great quality, but every once in a while they would send me their course prices to work for us. And the second vendor's price was pretty good. This was based on Kansas system. So it was that but the prices have really ranged. When we started out paying something like $35 for PDFs, this is all they're doing is giving us back the PDF that we paid. Now we're on the and the same thing with the double key proof. We started out with $1. The larger the figure the project is getting, when we start quoting those numbers about what we set for the first one, $1 million, $2 million, preservation approaches to utilization and access approaches to utilization were at odds with each other. So the diagram is one case, you had to do one or the other. The strict preservation approach and scanning the highest risk possible, certain individual tips, do it on certain organs and keep everything, archive everything, that access really required scan them, the OCR, I'm not sure that you really have to take that into places. I'm not sure that they really fight with each other. It's a matter of figuring out what can work, really figuring out cost, and what you want to say about it. I think eventually what we're going to try to do is PDF with OCR weight on HTML. Hold up. HTML is extraordinarily expensive. So PDF, the amount of total documents PDF and HTML that we can do 5 times as much as we want to search for. The documents are fantastic for this. Really, really expensive. We're still working on it. Get anything we learn to really make those Proof OCR, by the way, is extraordinarily expensive. Don't worry, that's why it's double which is a lot cheaper than two different people typing in the documents, which sounds extraordinary. I thought it was and then the computer compared to documents tends not to be the same mistakes. They're very accurate. It's a lot cheaper. And what are we doing now? We're in this public beta. We're hoping for a real release in late fall. This is all our real release to search engines and everything for all of and we have some ideas for future stuff, what we'd love to hear if anybody else has ideas. We'd love to create these that go together, the cases that we have, just the right cases for everything. And to come up with some sort of resource, some kind of control factor, just for security cases, to give people some context. So if they want to search for something more limited than just searching full text, which is not very valuable. I got a million emails when people started talking about Avalon briefs being copyrighted. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? For the most part, we're only doing historical briefs. We have an absolute fixed law in 1999, and that will move forward because there are so many sites that this great people. We have a fairly fixed law in 1995 or something. It's a less law. So the time starts inching back in terms of how many briefs are out there that are still under copyright. It's a limited number. It's only recently that people started to search copyright briefs here, and there are things like Interim. I have a hard time believing that somebody's going to come out and look up and say, "Well, yeah, my brief for Adirans, I want to copyright that. I want to make sure that you're not going to use that." I don't think it's going to happen. Probably not. Class action suits, sure, this is something we want to make sure. Nobody's
copyright goes out, we don't have a problem with that.
down to the library.
Julia said to me that are you changing the document anyway as far as what it goes
For Bill? We're doing simple HTML markup, attempting to preserve as much as we can the formatting. So we're doing centering, we're doing text margin small, we're doing the line we're doing as much as we can. We're preserving original error, we're preserving page breaks, all of that in HTML as much as we possibly can. And then the PDFs are different.
Yeah, my main question was why are we using OCR at all?
We're not. We're experimenting with OCR because HTML is so expensive. And we want to try to add a lot of documents to the site quickly. We want to be able to move forward and show public agencies that they're coming to go away. We may have to start with a PDF first hold off until somebody says, oh, it's a great site, but I really love to have an actual video HTML.
I'm not trying to refer to the deal all the time.
Absolutely, that's right.
I have a document citation written for you. I don't know if you're going to say. I'm using it at the moment. A couple of times. I don't know a lot of time. Only browser I know supports XML to a great extent. The answer to your question is no.
I'll put right up on the site,
Again, I know from Bobby after so you mentioned the PDF thing. We get some difference in the look. 600 is the same one page. Why
That's exactly why we started with that. The problem is that we went after funding which we consider to be our best funding source. They had a vision of preservation and access. They were interested in large-scale projects to digitize historical documents. This is perfect. Their preservation is really concerned. It's 300 PI. It's not the standard. It's not the archival standard. So, in order to keep them happy and also have most of us you might as well leave it on. It's not a huge cost. Now the cost is a little less.
Or either you say that if documents is being so you can have some later processing or do something else today. Different format becomes available.
We can do that, and then we can, big script that will pull out the individual pages into TIFF files. So it's not packages. We're going to start seeing into TIFF.
I'm not saving.
The site, now it's You know, we had about $20,000 to start off with. With some funding for the library, just another foundation director. You know, I wish that I had, you know, I have some help now. Until this is in addition to trying to do grant writing. If I were to start from scratch, the foundation director, check it out, the person who's sitting on the research.
You're on the document, you look at the argument required to plus part of the document. You have like cut. Would they want them to scan to get cut on?
You know, we didn't want to initially. We're trying to really preserve this because we weren't saying this is a preservation project. We didn't want to destroy the document. Online. More and more, I'm going to go back to telling them and then the pages that we heard. So we started to let them be like not cut, but one stitch.
I don't know how they'll be able to do it. There's an Iowa Center going to have it over and
We've tried those. One of the reasons that we don't do initial scanning on our campus is that they were high and the idea of it is great. Lay the document flat, it has an overhead shot of the document. There's a mirror thing and a rocker table so it's the correct for page curvature. Doesn't look any of those they're bound too tightly, they're too thick the way they come down. Most of the bodies are not that thick. It's just